let me tell you a little bit about unconscious bias. It's quite a popular term at the moment. Lots of organisations are using it as a means to actually understand more about how bias plays out in the workplace and helping their managers and leaders to be less biased. But what does this really involve? Well, we're all biased actually, and sometimes when we do sessions and we say to people, well, we can't avoid bias. We are socialised as part of our society, and as part of our socialisation process, it's impossible not to be affected by bias. That's quite a reassuring thing because it's good to know that this isn't just about me, everybody has bias. But what we try and work with in terms of the work we do to help people to understand how it plays out in their work is we try to get them to realise how it manifests itself, but most importantly, what they can do to switch bias off. It's not a magic bullet, so knowing that you are biased and everybody else is biased doesn't necessarily help you to do anything unless you can understand how you are biased, because there are different forms of bias, so there are different ways of being biased. So that's something that we go through in our sessions. And then we also get to the point where we look at the most challenging thing, which is how do you actually switch bias off. Now that's potentially where honesty and integrity come into play. Because if bias is about what happens unconsciously, what happens in the moment, then what we're trying to do is we're trying to get people to recognise that unconscious decision making. Because it's unconscious, because you are the only person that knows that you're doing it, you are the only person that can hold yourself to account. And what we try and do is to help people to give themselves some concrete things that they can do to hold themselves to account. But again, not a magic bullet. And what we found is that we've had some good results. So people understand that processes and procedures are not a substitute for what happens in your head, really. And part of the reason that we get the same sort of patterns within our society is because we have all of this stuff around us which is supposed to make us safe. We've got scoring systems and all that sort of stuff. But that does not take away what happens in the moment.